Hello and welcome to Alternate Mid Raid. This is another Raid Shadow Legends video, and today we're going to tackle the Ogryn tribe crypt here for Faction Wars on stage 21. This is a team here that I have. It's very consistent getting the boss down, but it's not terribly consistent getting in 3-star. So this video may end up being cut. I want to show you the champions at the end. Of course, I'm going to show you their stats and their gear and masteries and all that. I'm going to show you kind of how the run goes and let you watch that. But of course, I'm going to make sure you see the completion version so you can kind of see the stats, what the champions are doing, and discuss a little bit about that. I'll let you know if it does end up getting cut that way. But the last run I did, you'll see the keys are down. It actually did work. And it worked almost entirely on auto. I just had to take control a little bit at the boss at the end. So we're going to start that way. We have Ghrush, Bellower, Klodd, Uugo, and Skullcrusher. So let's see how this plays out. Stick this on auto. We'll see the Uugo, he brings some healing. He brings a defense down along with a block debuffs or block buffs, which is pretty nice. Bellower having a stun set, so he's providing some extra CC, and then all of his stuff is debuffs. He's got a full AoE kit, got slow, he's got attack down, pretty good stuff. Gresh has healing. Gresh has, I believe it's either crit rate or crit damage down, bringing some AoE and some leech to the team. Claude is a support champion here. And then finally, we have Skullcrusher, who is another support champion, but he's coming the tanky way. He's bringing a ally protect and a counter attack to the whole team. And so I'll skip this through, and then we'll get to the boss. I'll discuss the boss's abilities briefly, and then again, we'll get back on sped up to see kind of how it works out. I'm going to briefly go over the boss's abilities. This one has attacks one target, decreases turn meter, and applies a poison. It places a true fear and poison on the entire enemy team along with a decreased turn meter. This is a very dangerous ability. That true fear at the wrong time can become very problematic. And then reflex and HP burn on the team as they're going. So I'm going to start this off on auto. And I'm gonna try to follow the last time I did when I wasn't recording this and see if we can get that 3-star out. Oh, right. It worked that time. That did take me 2 attempts. So if you see some weird cut in there, that is why. The trash was really easy to go through. The waves, however, getting to the boss, yeah, one of them failed. That is a reality of this, and it didn't fail in the sense that it was going to actually fail, but it's failed to get 3 stars, which of course is the point of this video, getting 3 stars on this. So this can get 3 stars. It is not a 100% chance of doing the 3-star, but it should get you through. You should be able to use this team for farming if you need to, although personally I tend to drop it down a stage or two just because it is kind of slow with this team. Of course, I do have other champions I use now, so I'll discuss some alternatives, what I'm currently using and stuff in just a moment. We'll see here, Bellower did a ton of the damage, just being full AoE every attack. Obviously, he does the majority of the work during all of those waves. Ghrush does decent just because he's okay geared. Skullcrusher, Uugo, and Klodd are all basically support champions. You'll see I don't really have a real damage champion on here. Bellower is damage, but he's like damage support, kind of a hybrid role since he's mostly a debuffer and a controller. Anyway, let's get into their stats and we'll show you what's going on there. So my Skullcrusher is partially mastered. I just want to say he would go down here. We got a chance to counterattack. He is aiming to go down the defense tree. Most likely, I think, is my build for him. He is mostly booked out. Stats don't necessarily matter a lot, but the stats kind of do. I have him decent HP, good defense, and then a little bit of damage. His accuracy could be higher, and his speed could be better just to rotate through his abilities faster. But all he's really doing is a heal reduction, which doesn't really matter in this content specifically. Although getting out the ally protect for higher speed would be kind of nice. We'll see not everything is enchanted or leveled up to 16. Uugo is pretty geared. He is fully booked. He is mastery down for accuracy. I can't remember what I was gearing him for, but I wanted the accuracy higher than I think I even have it now. So he's in a lot of perception and accuracy sets here. Ton of HP, decent defense, although he's attack-based, but just keeping... Might be a she. They're attack-based, but just keeping them up is probably the way to go. So HP, defense, over attack, the damage isn't going to matter much. You'll see low crit rate and damage. The speed could be a bit higher too, but accuracy is going to land everything you need. It doesn't need to be that high. If you're gearing just for this, I would take some of this accuracy and either put it in speed or get the resist up high enough that you're safe against those bosses' attacks. Because if you can resist that boss's fear, this is going to be a pretty easy team with Uugo just being able to keep everybody up. Gresh is a defense-based champion. Gresh is free, a login reward, I believe, unless that has changed. This was one of the first and best champions I had early on. We are fully booked. For his masteries, I'm taking him down all the way to the extra resist, and this guy's been masteried like this since, you know, a few weeks after I got him on my account. So I don't remember why that is. Obviously, my resist isn't high enough for that to be really relevant, although possibly in the content I was doing at the time that was enough resist. Much higher resist would matter for this, but we do occasionally resist the fear here, which is still nice. We'll see I have a ton of HP and a ton of defense, and I am horrendously slow, unacceptably slow, and my accuracy is also too low. So this champion is terribly geared. This is not an example of what to do. This is just an example of what will still get you through this content if you need to. My Bellower is decently geared for being in a stun set, but not amazingly so either. My HP is low, my defense is low. You'll see that's why he's so close to dying. And in the runs where it fails, he dies first every time. We're getting okay attack, speed is fine, the damage is alright, and then accuracy is going to land most of his typical debuffs. He is fully booked. I don't have the blessing applied to him yet, but he just provides such a great suite of debuffs. Decrease attack, weak decrease defense, decrease speed, blocked active skills, and of course in that stun set he's really controlling the waves and the ads. For masteries, we took him all the way down to War Master. Finally, Claude has no masteries. Claude has no books. Claude is not terribly geared. I was working through getting Claude leveled up when I was trying to progress this, and I succeeded before I got him past this in gear, and so I just stopped. I don't use him anywhere else. This would be a much easier run if you were to take Claude, and we'll see he has speed, increase accuracy, a shield, shield based on his HP, and a decreased crit rate. Doesn't matter so much, but take this set, get them up to level 16, get him 60'd out, full this out, get him high resist would be amazing with some speed. We'll see my stats are terrible outside of the HP. And Claude would help carry this team because we're just providing a little bit of support. The boss doesn't hit incredibly hard, but the burns and the poisons along with the fear just keeps us down. So if we could get Claude to be faster and resisting, getting these debuffs or these buffs rotated through would be really amazing to keep this team alive. So if you have Claude, gear them better than I have. For alternate options, there are really quite a few. I don't have that many right now. Of course, when I do this myself now, I take Big Un there because Big Un just hits a lot harder than anybody else. I usually swap him out for either Bellower or for Claude. Although still honestly, I don't necessarily do 21 that often. That boss is just slow. Prundar can do the job too. I've had Prundar in for Claude. We have a increased defense that's coming in with this, along with a strengthening continuous heal. So Prundar is helping keep our team alive through that support, but I found that for whatever reason, using Claude is better, possibly for the increased speed, even though my Prundar is better geared. My Prundar is partially booked. I think I started maybe just for points during a CVC. That could be all that was going on while I was progressing. But I found Claude just got the job done, so I used Claude instead. For alternatives, of course, here I don't have anybody else that I would take. Obviously, Bigun is better. Gerda's fine as a support. We have a chance of a cleanse. We have a weaken and poison mechanic. But that's it. When they receive a debuff, you slow the boss down a bit. Gerda will be fine on the team, but of course you're not gonna want to book her for this. I don't know. It's just for what I have, I'm probably not gonna swap up my composition other than maybe gearing them up a bit more. Let's look at some real options though. So obviously, if you're going for the damage champions, you have a lot of options up here. War Mother is going to place bombs. That's probably going to do more damage than whatever I have. She's just a decent champion. Ignatius, you're going to get some HP burns out provoked. You're going to get some increased support on the waves if you need to. As for the uncommon level of champions, which is really going to matter, Ogryn, if you have him, of course, is great. Maneater, I don't have him either. Occult Brawler might have some value on the boss as a poisoner. This could be a way to go. I'm not sure. If you're going to have enough support to make that work out. Shatterbones is a decent amount of damage along the waves if you need help there. Decreased speed on the enemy with a turn meter boost is going to be pretty nice. This may have some value in for Klodd, but I wouldn't say so. So as far as for team composition theory as opposed to the specific champions, Skullcrusher needs somebody who's bringing some kind of increased support to the team. Ally Protect is one of the strongest defensive buffs in the game. So you're going to either need an Ally Protect or a defense up and a strength and something like that. You're going to need a very strong defensive support ability. For Uugo, for my team, this was necessary for the cleanse that comes with this. Alternatively, I have succeeded with the whole team dying and Uugo being alive, and this cleanse also becoming a res, and the team coming back up, and that's how I won. I actually won that that way in the version I did this before I started recording. Ghrush is kind of an all-rounder. We are getting a little bit of decreased attack and crit damage on the enemy to help us live. We are getting a heal. So a debuffer and an extra healer is going to be necessary if you swap this out. It's also 30% defense, so consider what you're bringing. Of course, Gresh is free, so unless you're prior to this point in the login rewards, just use Gresh. Gresh is going to be great for your faction wars. Bellower, you need somebody for the waves who's bringing you some control. Somebody AoE in a stun set, and then that's really the biggest thing is AoE control for those waves is what Bellower is doing here. On the boss, Bellower is not that important. And then, of course, another support. So in concept, we have debuffer, healer, reser, buffer, tanky support champion, and AoE wave control. Well, notice I don't have a damage. If you get yourself a strong single target damage champion, you will find that you're actually way more capable of doing this than I am, because you're going to kill the boss faster, and the boss just slowly whittles your team down otherwise. Anyway, so this has been an alternate image raid video. I'd like to hear what you have to say. If you have any other thoughts about this comp, what should be built, what I'm missing about this particular faction war crypt that I'm doing. If you like this video, like. If you really like, sub. If you dislike, smash the dislike button, as it's still engagement for the channel. And as always, have a great day.